Salutations, nerds. I'm Rick Y, the wise guy. And today is December 4th, 2024, and today is kind of a crazy time. The South Korean president tried and failed to consolidate power with martial law. And I'm going to fill you in as best as I can at time of recording to give you a sense of where things are, what caused this, and what seems to be the likely outcome for everyone involved. So if you're down with news, updates, and just Americana, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I'd be much obliged. Yook Sik-yeol is currently the president of Korea, and a lot of folks have recently heard the news coming out of his recent decisions. He's making a lot of friends. So, as many Americans don't usually keep up with foreign news or geopolitics, I'm going to kind of bring you all up to speed because the turmoil currently embroiling South Koreans didn't occur in a vacuum. As you may not have been told, the president of South Korea chose to implement martial law and tried to remove the rights of the legislators in the country. Suffice it to say, this was not taken very lightly by South Korean citizens. Luckily, the parliament stepped in and the power of democracy showed its teeth. The decision was overruled by the legislative bodies and forced the current president's already dwindling support numbers into the dirt as he tucked his tail and reversed the implementation. So what happened? How did we get here? And what's next? What happened is the president got onto the television at 11 p.m. and stated that due to shameless pro-North anti-state forces, and what he was referring to specifically was a motion that was reached by the opposition party that stated that they could impeach top prosecutors and reject a government budget proposal. Not unlike the conservative party in our country, the Democratic Party was being accused of sympathizing with North Korea and trying to undermine the government. Prior to this move, his approval ratings were already lower than 20%. For context, regardless of how polarizing Donald Trump is here, he never dipped below a 20% approval rating. So, after he was clearly making a lot of friends within his own country, he chose to deploy South Korean troops and police forces to the National Assembly building. It's the South Korean facsimile of our Capitol building, for reference. This didn't work, however, as members of the National Assembly arrived, pushed past the troops, and voted against it anyway. So having done that, the president was therefore forced to call off the measure. And at this point, we sit in that awkward stage, like where your friend's spouse is so pissed she kicked him out, and you're not entirely sure if this is it. He may have actually finally done something so stupid. He may end up never being able to go home. And like in that situation, you may be asking yourself, how the hell did we get here? What happened? Keep in mind, this man's approval rating that I mentioned is abysmal. We also have to consider that he also faces an entire legislative body that is empowered by his opposition, which has slowed his agenda to a crawl. And in some case, it's deadlocked it entirely. Currently, they're having a very difficult time coming to terms with the budget of next year. Sound familiar? He said he was down with a 120-hour work week at one point, and, who knows how that could have failed. On top of that, he has personal scandals that involve his spouse and senior government officials. Yeah, kind of grimy stuff. All of this, I'm only speculating, but I'm almost positive is why this man chose to go with the most executively overreaching move. I think he lost his head and overreacted, having been mired for so long in both political and personal affairs. I think it's really that simple. What I can't say for certain is how he thought this would play out in what is considered the democratic bastion of Asia. My best guess and assumption is his ass gets tossed. British people stop laughing. I doubt any legal ramification will come of this, but who knows? I don't think the people would be too upset if it did happen. I'm going to assume that this is going to be a pretty fantastic grounds for impeachment, though. because the opposition has control of the legislative body and they're rightly pissed. My guess by the end of this week, my man Yoon done went all in and played his hand too fast and they dropped a full house on his ass. I'm definitely interested in how this is going to go, and I look forward to updating y'all, so stick with me. And until next time, stay tuned, stay engaged, and stay decent. Deuces.